Next speaker is Frederic Oudea, who, as you all know, is the Chief Executive Officer of Société Générale and also Chair of the European Banking Federation. Welcome, Mr. Oudea. The floor is yours.
Yes, dear Chairman Galtieri, honourable members of the European Parliament, let me just highlight that I'm speaking today in my capacity of Chairman of the European Banking Federation and not as CEO of Société Générale. So I would like to highlight perhaps four elements beyond any technicalities of this complex but needed package to review again and focus on. First of all, the need for international consistency and level playing field. I think we cannot ignore the growing fragmentation of the international regulatory landscape in light of recent political changes, notably in the US, but with the perspective of the Brexit adding up to that trend. This does not imply that we, as Europeans, should refrain from seeking meaningful and robust international agreements, but this reality commands caution. We think we should avoid scenarios where Europe front-loads proposals that are still in the making, as has been our experience with the bank resolution, where you are being asked to revisit BRRD in light of the international TLAC standard. We think we should learn the lesson with, in particular, the fundamental review of the trading book, which definition at the Basel Committee is not yet stabilized. Its impact is uncertain and its implementation in major jurisdictions like the US remains unclear. As an illustration of the confusion we are in, it's worth noting that the expected capital charge increase of FRTB, as estimated by Basel itself, doubled between November 2016 and February 2017. The Commission's November 2016 proposal is based on Basel's QIS4, which reports a 40% increase in risk-weighted assets, while the most recent number, crunching by Basel in February 2017, sets that impact at something close to 80%. This topic is particularly important at a time where we need to think strategically about the direction we want to take for our capital market activities in Europe in light of the Brexit consequences. Against this backdrop, we would plead before this committee to postpone discussions of FRTB until there is clarity and certainty at a global level. The second element is translating banking union into prudential reality. As you know, European banks are not yet able to exploit the benefits of a truly integrated banking sector. Firstly, European banks face additional capital charges for systemically important banks and multiple minimum bail-in requirements to be held in local EU jurisdictions. Secondly, while the criteria for waiving solo application of capital and liquidity requirements have been slightly extended, they remain far too restrictive to be practicable, such as requiring a 50% financial collateral on the own funds for the waived entities. That does not recognize the benefits of the SSM, the Banking Union, and the European Resolution Framework. The Eurozone is our domestic market, and therefore the treatment of intergroup transactions between entities in the same member states should be applicable to entities in the Banking Union. Third item, the importance of fast-tracking some key reforms. Creditor hierarchy. The Commission has rightly placed the creditor hierarchy proposal in a separate file to ensure swift examination and hopefully adoption. This is key in allowing the industry to issue eligible debt and build up the requested TLAC buffers on time. Beyond that, the European Banking Federation supports the introduction of an appropriate grandfathering scheme for those liabilities whose eligibility conditions are modified. Second, IFRS 9. Here we encourage you to fix the calendar incoherence between prudential phase-in provisions contained in the proposal. We also believe the accounting standards implementation date, starting in January 2018, calls for an accelerated agreement in the coming months so as to provide the intended prudential relief. Fourth, the importance of the growth and innovation dimension of the package. The package contains several measures aimed at improving banks' lending capacity to support the EU economy. Here we are hopeful that you, members of the European Parliament,